Hello there, Acres of Diamonds community. I'm DJ Ligori, and I'm here with co-founder Scott Gibbs, and we are on Daily Diamond number 27, where we are breaking down one of our social media quotes. And this week's quote was from Ellie Garno, and her quote was, "Our impact on others isn't always linear." And so on Tuesday, I explained a little bit about a story that I'd actually heard from Matt Nathan, our previous week's quote individual, about the simple act of kindness and how our impacts on others, we might not necessarily understand how important they really are, but they could be a huge factor in our success moving forward. And in the example I talked about, it actually saved an individual's life. So today, what we're gonna have Scott weigh in on what he thinks this quote means and what he got out of it. So Scott, what are we thinking on this one?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't actually know what I was going to talk about until I listened to your quote, and it reminded me of the movie "Pay It Forward" with Jolie Osment in it. And his teacher was Kevin Spacey, and Kevin Spacey gave the class, it was probably sixth or seventh grade class, the task of create one idea that will change the world. And the character, Jolie Osment's character, went home and thought about it. He came home the next day or whenever he came back to class, and he goes up on the board and he draws one circle. He says, "This is me." And then he draws three more circles and draws lines too. And he says, "These are three people. I'm going to do one nice thing for each one of these three people. And in return, I'm going to ask that they do one nice thing for three people." So to Ellie's point, right, acts of kindness don't necessarily have to be linear. In that movie, Pay It Forward, he took 3 acts of kindness and turned it into 9, which turned it into, then 81. And then, so it gets geometric progressions are very, very powerful.
Yep.
But it also reminds me of the story of, an acorn, right? So you plant an acorn, right? And as long as you put it in the right soil and you water it and you nurture it and you care for it, the acorn is going to turn into an oak tree someday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a linear process, right? There's a gestation period of when that acorn is turning into growing roots into the soil, and then the roots are getting established, and then it's growing up into a sapling, and then eventually into a huge tree.
Mm-hmm.
There's signs of Ellie's quote everywhere.
Yeah.
That you and I talk about it with Acres of Diamonds, that right now we don't know how or when or if Acres of Diamonds is really going to get the traction or momentum we think is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But what we do know is that if we take consistent action every day towards our vision, that someday the oak tree may grow. Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That geometric progression could happen.
Yeah.
So that's your discussion on Tuesday changed the way I was thinking about this, and I think there's evidence of impact on others never being linear. I mean, it's rarely linear, and rarely do we know.
Yes.
Until much later.
And to that point, I was actually looking at Ellie's quote on the Instagram page, and you actually commented on it. And what you said was, "This is very true. As an old guy," sorry, you were the one who said that.
My words.
Yeah, there's your words. "As an old guy, I can say that many of my life lessons were presented to me many years ago, but came to my consciousness when required." So we might never actually realize why we act a certain way, but really it was because of an impact that somebody had on us 4 or 5 years ago. And so we may never actually even be able to explain why we did something the way we did. But because somebody was maybe kind to us, or they showed us something in a different way, we acted differently 4 or 5 years ago. It's kind of like, or 4 or 5 years later, it's kind of like the butterfly effect.
Right.
Almost have, do some, to your point of that progression of starting with 1, then 2, and then, 4 and 8, and it goes off. All you need is one small impact in the beginning. It's like throwing a pebble into water.
Right. Yeah, it's another great analogy. Yeah.
That ripples. And I think to the Acres of Diamonds community, to some of the people who we have been involved with, something that I think we've both realized is that people really do want to make an impact on others.
Right.
I think the empathy gene of our groups of people that we like to be around is such an evident gene that, originally I didn't realize how much other people wanted to help others. I honestly thought more of us were more selfish to be honest, but I think we all want to have the ability to impact others and make them remember some values and some beliefs that we believe in that could positively change their life. So
Yeah, I agree.
I completely agree.
Cool. Thank you, DJ.
There we go. Daily Diamond number 20, was it 27?
27.
20, Daily Diamond number 27 in the books. We'll see you guys. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.